Alright, so the tools that you'll need or that I recommend having all out with you before you begin is, of course, along with your bigger mirror, you would need a handheld mirror, some oil-free makeup remover, some cotton pads. So I prefer these pads because the cotton balls tend to get a bit stringy and sometimes leave a bit of like cotton fluff behind on your lashes. You'll need some cotton buds, of course, your Diablo Kit, a stopwatch, so just a watch or your phone, something that is easy to use that can count down in seconds, a small plate, or as you can see here, I have wrapped a plastic lid in tissue, and this is where I'm going to be putting my used cotton buds. You'll need some facial tissue, which is just tissue, very good lighting. I recommend taking a picture of the instructions on your phone or take out all the solutions and stuff out of your perm kit box and then turn the box over. You might want some sticky tabs to keep track of the instructions as you go through it. So here I'm just showing you an example of my what I'd call a mess station. So I've laid down a facial tissue and popped a little makeshift plate on top, and again this is where I'll will be putting down my in-use rubbish, like used cotton pads and buds, etc. So here is how you could use these sticky tabs to keep track of the instructions as you go step by step. I just found this really helped me keep track of where I was. I panicked a lot less and I wasn't having to keep rereading each step just to make sure that I hadn't missed anything. So I did do 2 eyes at once, but I don't actually recommend this. If you, however, do it anyway, you could put a sticky tab on the left side to represent the left eye and a right tab to represent the right eye, and so you know which step you're up to for which side eye. So step 1 is to cleanse your eyelids. I used this Bioderma makeup remover and I checked. This is in fact an oil-free makeup remover. So I used a cotton pad and slowly and thoroughly cleaned my eyelids and lashes top and bottom. I did speed up the video so not to bore you, but do take your time and give it a little time to actually dry. So step 2 is to stick the lift pads onto our eyes. So there are 5 sizes, and sizes actually refer to the size of the kale as opposed to the size of your eye. So the smaller the size, the more upright the lashes will be, and of course the larger the size, the more belly in the curl. Initially I used the large, and because I haven't found an effective way to clean off all the glue, this time round I used the next biggest size, which is M2. For small eyes or eyes without much depth like myself, I actually recommend the larger lift pad so that the lashes have a belly in its perm. It will have a curve. Too small and your lashes won't really curl. It will just go straight up from the roots. So set your timer to 30 seconds so that it's ready to go as soon as you finish applying the glue to the lift pads. Hold the lip of the lift pads and apply the glue to the lid side, so the side that's going to stick to your eyelids. You don't need to spread the glue all the way up to the top or to the lip where you're holding. So over here you can see that I'm holding onto the edge of the lift pad, which means that I won't get the glue all the way to the edge, which is not great. So let's start the timer, and once 30 seconds is up, we're going to stick the lift pad to your eyelid, and again I recommend doing 1 eye at a time. So these lift pads are a little arched and a little long for my eye shape, but that's okay. I just tried to flatten and unarch the lift pad onto my lid, going from the inner corner of my eye to start with and then working my way to the outer corner. I would also try to lift my eyelids a little and get that lift pad edge as close as I can to the lash line. And again, my lash line or eye is pretty flat, so I am relying on the glue to hold the lift pad down. So you're going to hold the lift pads down for another 30 seconds before moving on to step 3. If ever your fingers get a little sticky, just use the cotton pad or the cotton pad from step 1 with some oil-free makeup remover just to remove the stickiness from your fingers. So step 3, we're going to glue the lashes to the lift pads using the same glue stick. And in step 3, I work in 2 parts. So the first part is applying the glue to the lift pads. So focus on applying an even and a good amount of adhesive on the top curve of the pad or on the top half of the belly. Don't stress too much about getting lots of glue on the bottom half of the pad or the bottom of the belly, which is close to your lash line, because that's where the perming solution is going to go anyway. And the solution mostly removes the glue from the pad. Now, I'm not saying don't apply glue to the bottom half of the belly, just don't stress about getting the glue super close to the lash line and then maybe accidentally getting it onto your lashes. After 30 seconds and it becomes tacky and you're finding that there are still stray lashes, don't be afraid to go in again with some more glue. Again, just waiting another 30 seconds before trying to stick that stray lash down. So I just want to note that the glue is there to hold the ends or tips or tops of your lashes to the lift pad so that you can perm the bottom half of your lashes. Now do wait 30 seconds for it to become tacky before we stick the lashes on. So let's get to the second part of step 3. So the comb or applicator has a flat head and a comb head. Use the flat head to lift and place the lashes onto the pads. Notice that I'm not pushing the lashes from underneath going up. I'm actually using the whole flat side of the comb to lift and place the lashes onto the pads as they are naturally positioned. It's like lifting and folding the comb into or towards the lid. Now work in sections. I lift and place my lashes into its position as if it's being curled by an eyelash curler. I don't try and stick the lashes off to the side or anything to create a winged look or anything like that. So yeah, you just want to place your lashes onto the pads in its most natural position. So do not pull your lashes taut and just lift and place. This one time I accidentally pushed the lashes to stick up a little too high on the lift pad, and then when it was finished the lift wasn't as even and those few lashes just looked a little off. Like it was nothing bad, but just not evenly lifted. And that happened because I pushed from the bottom of the lashes going up into the air with the edge of the comb. It's like trying to comb the lashes onto the pad, and that was, it wasn't ideal. I only actually use the comb side and go from under up or pointing up when I need to separate an individual lash. I know this whole like lift and fold or lift and place concept or technique that I found work best for the lash lift is a bit hard to see here because it does look like I'm pulling really taut or I'm combing through quite strong, but that's not the case. It's just because obviously glue meets the applicator. The lift and fold is such a small movement, but hopefully you guys understand what I mean by sort of lift and fold and place the lashes onto the lift pad. So don't stress about short eyelashes that don't stick onto the pad. When you put the solution onto your lashes, these shorter ones will most likely lift off anyway, but do give it a good go. So yeah, if you lift and place or lift and fold sort of motion with your comb, your lashes will lay and stick onto the lift pad quite naturally. Because you are working to a time constraint, as in the glue dries relatively quick, I suppose, you may find that not all lashes had a chance to stick down properly. So I'm just going back here with a little bit more glue, really focusing on the top half of the belly and making sure that all the really long lashes and other lashes, but yeah, the really long ones and any ones that missed out on sticking down get a chance to stick down. So don't forget to give it another 30 seconds to dry before going in again with the comb. Now let's get on to step 4, which is the perming, and you can see here how I've used my sticky tab to keep track of which step I'm at. So guys, this is really helpful for me. So just organizing myself and making sure all the solutions are in the right place. That's the oil, the fix, the cleanse, and the perming. So I'm going to grab the perming. I roll the cotton bud into my hand just to tighten up any loose sort of strands or tips. When the instruction says a line of perm, it literally means a line. So I was trying to brush in the solution and even it out on the left video, but no, definitely get a good amount of solution onto your bud and then roll that solution onto the bottom half of your lashes or the bottom half of that lid pad belly. Obviously, you don't want solution dripping off your eyes, but not too little solution that you can't really see the solution. On the left, I don't feel like I put enough on, but the right video, you can see the solution is visible. So be gentle in placing the solution onto the bottom half of the lashes or belly. Don't rub side to side because you can actually displace the lashes or risk moving or ungluing the lashes. So just another thing to keep in mind is don't go beyond the highest point of that belly or curve of the lift pad. Just think about rolling the bud up and out from the eye. So again, on the lower belly of the pad, you just want this solution close to the lash line. So set the timer depending on your lash thickness between 12 and 15 minutes. I think I did it for 13 in a bit minutes. And I didn't cover with cling film because in the first time I did it, I was blinking and stuff. I got it into my eye and so that was a little bit painful. So now I just don't even bother with the cling film. All right, so step 5 is to remove the perm and apply the fix. So just to clarify, when it says to remove the perm with a cotton bud without touching the tips of your lashes, so there's two things to this. Use a dry or a new dry cotton bud and just sweep the solution out from your eye, so not going up but rather out from your eye. And just to clarify, it is a new cotton bud that you're using to remove the perm solution. Don't go dipping this bud into a cleanser or using the cleanser bud from the cleansing step. So I think the instructions should say something like remove the excess perm solution with a clean cotton bud without touching the tips of your lashes or something like that. All right, so let's apply the fix solution. So again, applying the fix solution to the bottom half of the lashes or the underside of the belly. Don't bring the solution up and over the belly onto the tips, tops, or ends of your lashes. So here is a better demonstration of what a line of solution looks like. And because it's blue as well, it does make it a little bit easier to see where the solution is abundant. I didn't use cling film again for this step because the last time I did it, I got solution stuck onto the cling film and then I blinked and it got into my eye. And so yeah, I just don't use the cling film. I think the cling film is more practical if you're getting your eyelashes done and you get to close your eyes sort of thing. Alright, so let's set the timer for 8 minutes. Now notice the time difference between the perm and the fix. The perm was for 12 to 15 minutes, whereas this is only for 8 minutes. So I incorrectly set my clock, as you can see, but it is actually 8 minutes that you're going to leave this fix solution on before we take it off. Alright, so on to step number 6, which is to cleanse. So use one end of the cotton tip or cotton bud to remove the excess fix solution off your lashes. Don't rub, just roll and brush it off. And then use the other side or the other end of the cotton bud with some cleanse solution to thoroughly clean your lashes. You might want to use another bud, another cotton bud, and with some more cleanse solution to cleanse the top half of your lashes and also to remove the lift pad off your eyelid. So I slowly lift the pad by going underneath the pad with the cotton tip. And then I finish up the cleanse with a cotton pad as well. Alright girls, on to the last step being step number 7, which is applying the Nourish or the oil. And this is obviously pretty straightforward. The only thing I could probably add here is that I took the Nourish or the oil onto my eyelids as well. So be extra gentle with your lashes here. So I'm just going to mention again that I actually did do the 2 eyes at once, and honestly I just felt like waiting around for 15 minutes was too long, but I actually don't recommend doing both your eyes at the same time because your vision is somewhat compromised. Would I do 2 eyes at once next time? Probably, and sometimes I'll get it good and sometimes I will regret it, I bet. So we'll see.